think most people think that actually it was if it did happen, and she wasn't at the conversation, it was a conversation that many families would have where there's a prospect of a mixed-race baby being born.
That's precisely right. And it's not just Meghan who should get our ire here. It's also Oprah Winfrey in the pathetic way in which she responded to that. Because you know full well, if Oprah Winfrey had been married to somebody who was ginger or who was Chinese, you know, or who was a blue-eyed Swede, she'd be wondering, and all her family would be wondering about how their child would look. It's just human nature. And, you know, the royal family always avoid trying to get involved in these sorts of storms. And we don't actually know if the allegations are true.
Exactly.
But I think it falls on the rest of us to actually try to change this narrative, just as you've just tried to do there, and say, well, so what? I mean, who cares? Because it's not in the slightest bit racist to be curious about a mixed-race baby. In fact, you know, it's hardly ever reported, but Prince Harry himself publicly admitted that he himself had wondered what his baby would look like when he appeared on America's popular show with Stephen Colbert, the Late Late Show, where he said that before he and Meghan had kids, he wondered if his ginger gene would stand up to his wife's gene.
But that's it, it is a joke. So, I married a man who was very, very ginger. It's just a running joke in the family about, you know, what our child would look like. Totally innocent. But this is the thing, there's so many different layers to this. It's hearsay. It's a claim about a claim. There were conversations. Harry says it wasn't a racist conversation. William has said we're not a racist family. But a claim being made basically against her father-in-law and her sister-in-law that they'd had a racist conversation. That is what everyone interpreted as. Now, of course, look, whether you're a monarchist or a Republican in this country, at the end of the day, you've got someone claiming on the world stage that the family, the first family of our nation, basically, establishment, constitutional monarch of our country, is a racist. I don't think that most people believe that he is, believe that Kate is, that these remarks were made with any intention like that. But that is nevertheless very damaging to the family, to the internal relationships, but it's damaging to our country as well. I think that's why a lot of people took an awful lot of offence at that.
Actually, you know, that's what's so despicable about this. For such a natural curiosity to have been twisted and distorted by Meghan and by her odious lackey, Scobie, I think is beneath contempt, because, you know, they may not have used the word racism, but they know how explosive and damaging such an accusation is, particularly in today's free bar world. Is always going to be interpreted and twisted into racism. And today, other than calling someone a paedophile, there's nothing more incendiary, you know, or danger or damaging than calling someone a racist. And that they allowed that to go ahead, to me, is unforgivable. Now, you said, of course, that Prince Harry has said that his family isn't racist, but it took him 2 years to come out with that. 2 painful long years after the Oprah interview, during which his family was raked over the coals, his reputation was attacked, traduced and severely damaged, while Harry sat on the sidelines
and didn't say anything. And then said, oh, no, we never said that. Now, the thing is, the R word, the racist word, I mean, again, they never used that word, but they knew that's what everyone else was saying. And the fact that Prince William did actually say at the time, you know, we're not a racist family, that word was being bandied around. They would have seen the headlines. We know they look at the headlines. They're always suing people for headlines in newspapers. But the thing about this, we know this is a word that gets bandied around all the time. I'm always very wary about this. I don't like any of these accusations against public figures, whether I like them or not, where, you know, whether it's Me Too, whether it's things like that, you know, I wasn't there, I don't know. The whole, you know, guilty until proven innocent, the turning on its head of our system of justice in this country these days, I do find extraordinary. You know, basically trial by media an awful lot of the time. But also the use of the R word. I've got a very, very good friend right now who is going through the courts through a libel case, having been, I believe, completely falsely accused of being a racist. I've been falsely accused of being a racist, just for saying the most... I mean, I don't think we should have unlimited mass immigration in this country. That apparently is a racist thing. You know, that word is bandied around an awful lot. People should be very wary. That is a word that we should be using only when we are very, very sure of our facts.
Absolutely. And I actually think it actually behooves Prince Harry now to actually come out and publicly denounce his propagandist-in-chief, Omid Scobie. I think if he doesn't do that, he's doing his family a huge disservice, and he's doing the country a huge disservice, and any hope of a reconciliation with his family in the short...
I think we can safely say that the Christmas lunch invitation is over, can't we? That's not going to happen. Really appreciate you joining us there. Thank you. That's Rafe Heydel-Mankoo. Thank you very much.